up, folks? Sean, the Average Angler, coming at you with another great video. It's summertime, and what better time to go out and get some fish on? It's a great time for catching the fish are aggressive because the water's warm. It's a good time to throw reaction baits. So today we're going to cover a great one that you really need to have in your arsenal. And if you don't, here's some great tips to help you get it in your arsenal. If you're new to the channel, you like this kind of content, hit that subscribe button down there. Help a brother out. We got a big giveaway at 4,000 subscribers. It's just around the corner, guys, like 200 and something. And we are giving away a Grow Design Works Flag 170. You get to pick the color out of the ones I offer up. Okay, I'm gonna have 3-4 different colors you can choose from. All you got to do is go back and watch that video, drop a comment, and be a subscriber. So today we are going to talk about one of the greatest techniques to come out in the past. I don't know what it is. It's probably been over 10 years, and the bait still performs like nobody's business. And that is the good old chatterbait. Okay, now there's a lot of different ways to fish a chatterbait and a lot of different theories and this and that. There's tons of gear out there for it, right? Glass rods, fiberglass rods, graphite rods, hybrid rods where it's a little bit of both, braided line, fluorocarbon, you name it. Everybody has their theories. I'm going to share some of mine with you today because I fish both braid and fluorocarbon. You'll see fluorocarbon on my rig here. And when and why, okay? Part of this is gonna have to do with the rod. Typically, guys that are using glass rods like to use braid. I really like this. See your smackdown. This is in the stealth gray, 30 pound, okay? 30 pound works really well for me. It's thin enough, you get really good castability, but it's still braid, so when you're fishing grass, you can really snap it out of the grass and get a good reaction. And that's kind of where we want to go to get bites. Now the fluorocarbon, it has its place also, and if you're using a stiff rod, then you may want to go to fluorocarbon. I'm not using a stiff rod. This is my edge of grass rig, okay? Basically, my edge of grass rig, I'm throwing down edges of grass, retrieving it, and putting action into the bait, okay? So kind of like I'm snapping it out of grass, except we're not hung up in grass. And what that does is it makes that dart side to side. And then the tail will do weird things bending on the trailer. It really creates a reaction strike. Now braid is for when we are in the grass, and we're doing the same thing. When we feel something on the bait, we're gonna snap it to get that grass off, and that bait's gonna dart or rip out of the grass. This is what creates a reaction strike. Now the rod I use is this iRod Quirkus. It's a 733 medium heavy, so 7'3" medium heavy rod. It is called the Wild Card bladed jig rod. And this rod, when I first got it, I thought, man, that's too soft for the fish I'm gonna catch. Well, as it turned out, it wasn't. Rod has a really good tip, so it allows those fish to get a good hold of that bait, get it in their mouth before I have time to set the hook. That load also helps keep them pinned. And there is enough snap there to snap it out of grass. You gotta find the rod for you and then pair it with the line that works best for it, okay? As far as the reel goes, I've got a Shimano Bantam on here. Very, very good reel, but they're 300 and some odd dollars. Solid aluminum frame, so it's not the lightest reel, but it's a very stiff reel. There's no flex in the reel. This one happens to be a 6.2 to 1. It's also my slower gear ratio. I like the 6.2 mostly because I can reel it really fast when I want to, and the rest of the time it slows me down a little bit, which sometimes the average angler needs. All right, as far as colors, green pumpkin for me is outstanding. You can do so much with it. This happens to be a ChatterBait Evo, 1/2 ounce. That's my standard. Most of what I throw is a 1/2 ounce. On there, I have a craw trailer. Now there's a lot of choices in trailers. You can put just about anything you want on it. This time of year, I like a craw trailer. Okay, we have craw hatches going on, those kinds of things. Crawdads get in that grass and they will spawn in that grass. Now when you have a crawdad spawn going on, it's really hard to beat that red color, okay? That happens to have the Hog Farmer or Missile Bait Spunk Shad. Now, I pretty much keep my trailers pretty simple. That Z-Man, or Zoom, sorry, Zoom Z-Craw is what I had on that. And I trim these down a little bit. They do make another size, but I have so many of these and I use them for other techniques, so I don't want to buy more stuff. As you can see, I have a little bit already. With the Missile Bait Spunk Shad and then the Hog Farmer Spunk Shad. And you'll notice all of these colors are bluegill because that's really my other target in the summertime is bluegill. So I'm still going to use that green pumpkin, but there are a lot of alternatives. This happens to be called smallmouth magic, but I really think it could be a great bluegill imitator with the right trailer on it. So we want to try and match our chatterbait to the forage that the fish are feeding on. It just gives us higher percentage. Those fish get keyed in on a certain type of forage, and that's what we need to mimic. It can often be the difference of a great day and a not so great day is matching the forage. Okay, those fish get keyed on it, and that's what they're looking for. Okay, this time of year, most of the time in my lakes, I'm looking at bluegill and I'm looking at crawdads, and crawdad hatches can happen again and again and again. Okay, they get in that grass, they spawn in the grass, or whatever they do. I don't know. I'm no crawdad expert. I just know it happens over and over and over. I believe it's usually around that full moon, but it can happen at other times also. So most of the time I'm going to use that green pumpkin. Occasionally I'm going to throw that red. And there's some green pumpkin mixed into that red, by the way, like a magic craw type green pumpkin craw image with those colors in it. The other color I'll throw this time of year in the summertime is something like this, okay? It's a bluegill type color, very, very effective. I'm gonna fish it in the same areas and do the same types of techniques. For the chatterbait, that's just where we're gonna find our fish. Now, chatterbaits are kind of known to stick in wood. However, wood also holds fish, and I wouldn't shy away from throwing a bluegill pattern chatterbait around wood. It is that time of year to consider getting out your braid. Put the braid on so we can snap it out of those grass. The snapping motion, again, is gonna make that bait dart side to side. It's gonna trigger strikes, put more fish in the boat. Now, this is what I will say about a chatterbait. If you pick it up and throw it for 10 minutes and put it down, much like a swim bait, you're probably not gonna get real good at it. It's something you need to spend time with. You can fish these on the bottom if you're in hard bottom areas, right? Let it get down to the bottom, pick it up, let it sink. Pick it up, let it sink. For that method, you really want a jackhammer because the blade starts up so fast on a jackhammer and then settles back down. So when we pick it up, we want to feel that blade vibrating. Now, one of the areas I really like to target with the chatterbait this time of year is if you find these isolated clumps of weeds. We can throw it down the sides and then we can throw it right through it, assuming it's not too thick. Either way, if it's too thick, we want to get our bait hung up on the edges and then rip that thing out. You rip it out, let it settle a little bit, and then start your retrieve. We just want to create an erratic movement of that bait. Now, oftentimes, what happens when you do this is you will just feel a load on the rod. This is a good time to get your rod down in position and set the hook. So don't feel like you have to swing. If you're way over here and out of position, you can only move the rod that far. Reel down, get a good hook set into them so you can get that fish in the boat. Some other trailers you may use on a chatterbait, something like a Kitech or a Fat Pack Baits swimmer, 3.8 swimmer, works great size on the back of a chatterbait. 3.5 to 4 inch. I really like closer to 4 so that 3.8 sticks back far enough. You don't want it too close to the bait. The tail just won't move well if it's mixed into the skirt. We talked about the spunk shad. This is one I really like more so in the fall, and that is a Z-Man Streaks curly tail. Okay, that curly tail gets a lot of action going in the fall, and when you impart some little jolts into your rod tip, It makes that thing do some crazy stuff, and that trailer I found has been very, very effective. Now, we're in the summertime, so I'm gonna keep this one put away, but I just wanted to give you that little tidbit. This time of year, I'm pretty much going with that Z-Craw, a Strike King Rage Craw in the 4-inch size, the Spunk Shad. Now, like I said, on that Z-Craw, you'll see that is a green pumpkin with blue. So I'm mimicking crawdad and bluegill in there with the blue in it. If I can get multiple presentations out of one bait, I think that's a bonus. Okay, I don't have to think so much about it. And if I'm getting bit on that, I can make some adjustments if I feel like they're on one more than the other. Now, as a bonus, don't be afraid to fish these baits deeper. Fishing the grass and that kind of stuff, we're generally fishing pretty shallow. Our grass here might get 8 to 10 foot. While those are great places to fish, and I love edges, sometimes we need a different bait for some deeper water. They make 3/4, they make 1 ounce chatterbaits. They can be great baits to probe deeper depths. Cast them out, let them get to the bottom, and you can try that hopping retrieve back to the boat. This works really good around rock piles, hard bottom areas, those kinds of things. Just another place to get some bonus bites. So, what do you guys use? Do you prefer braid or do you prefer fluorocarbon for your chatterbait fishing? Me, I use both. I think each has a place. One works better than the other at certain things. I always like the stealthness of fluorocarbon. You got to use the best tool for the job. Let me know what you guys think. Drop a comment below, smash that like button. If you're still here, make sure and hit that subscribe, all right? I'm Sean, the Average Angler. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.